I'm Michael Kirby, and in 2007, just before I lost all my power in the High Court of Australia, I made a brilliant and very artistic presentation at the Entertainment Centre in Melbourne with Elf Transporter. On that glorious occasion, I wore this beautiful jacket, and it went viral on what passed for the social media at the time. Now, of course, it would have struck into the hearts of artists, fellow artists all over the world, and they would have been thrilled to see me. I pensioned this off, but I brought it out of mothballs tonight so that it can be there with you on this celebration, because I can't be there, so this is to brighten up your night. I was there at the very beginning of arts law in Australia. I was there at the beginning with Shane Simpson. Now, Shane was a person who was almost as eccentric as I was. He found a place just near the dental hospital, which is where the Arts Law Centre was set up. And I remember wandering around there, avoiding all the dentists I could avoid, to look at the premises in which this wonderful idea was to be kicked off. And it can be really divided into decades. Immediately after it was set up in the dental hospital, of course, we had to, as arts lawyers, get into a corporate phase. And so we became very corporate, and we set up an independent corporation, and I became the president. This was a very important moment for the Arts Law Centre and for me. And since then, there have been 7 further presidents, and I honour them all, and I especially honour Margaret Beazley, who is now the president. She is also my successor as president of the Court of Appeal of New South Wales, the first woman president of that organisation. The first decade was really a little down market. Things were done by telephone. It was all done on the cheap. But we were only starting up. Keep that in mind. And then by the second decade, the Arts Law Centre was getting into more serious stuff. Lawyers were being recruited, lawyers were giving pro bono advice, and were opening up advice nights, which were extremely popular and spread very quickly around our continental country. And then the big end of town firms got involved in the third decade, and subsequently the centre reached out to Aboriginal Australia, and a very important part, I think it's about a third of the work of the Arts Law Centre now, maybe a quarter, is devoted to Aboriginal Australian artists. And at long last, the law, which turned its back on Aboriginals, is reaching out, and lawyers are reaching out and giving assistance to this most important spiritual and artistic dimension of our country. And so we come to the fourth decade, and that's really the interesting question. What is the Arts Law Centre going to be doing in the fourth decade? I think advocacy is going to be a very important issue for the centre. But one of the problems is a new legal restriction which has been imposed on those who receive federal gold to not get involved in politicking. The purpose of this, naturally enough, is to stop those who might be adversarial towards the governing parties from turning into political arms of the opposition party. And one can understand that point of view. But it is important, as I learned in my decade in the Law Reform Commission, to extrapolate from one's experience in the law, extrapolate from the individual instances to the areas where law reform is needed. And I think this is the challenge for the fourth and fifth decades of the Arts Law Centre in Australia, to learn from individual cases and to assist governments and assist parliaments in drawing attention to the needs for law reform. And if this means that some of the lobbying has to be outsourced to others to do it so that no threat is made to the funding of the Arts Law Centre, then so be it. But meantime, I offer congratulations, I offer best wishes, I hope it's a wonderful party, I wish I were there with you. If I were, I would reprise my magnificent performance of 2007, but that will have to wait for the 50th anniversary, and I hereby undertake that the curtain will go up, that I will be there, and it will be an even greater evening, and my performance will be unforgettable.